So again, the doctor is not charged with anything. He's not accused of any wrongdoing, but he is cited in this large, sweeping lawsuit having to do with opioids, which has been a topic talked about on the campaign trail. And now the Vance campaign will no longer have this fundraiser on Saturday after we asked them about it.
And some of them, it took them days to get to this point, and we're only 3 hours from the Ukraine border.
If you end up deciding not to comply, do you worry that it could undermine your credibility if you become chair of the Judiciary Committee next year?
No.
Even though you've become very known for using these committees to demand accountability? No. All right. Thank you.
So has the president been briefed on 16-year-old Micaiah Bryant being shot and killed by police in Columbus, Ohio yesterday? It happened moments before the Chauvin verdict came out.
A key part of Ryan's strategy throughout this campaign has been reaching out to voters in places like this that don't normally support Democrats. He's hoping to win some of them over while keeping loyal Democrats on his side.
There was a point where several dozen House members came through this hallway and were escorted to a secure location. They had been on the House floor.
President Trump's response to this election and the attack that happened here at the Capitol just 2 weeks ago today has really changed how this inauguration day is going to play out. It was just odd that the president made this speech, then decided to clear this street, walk over to the church, stay there for a couple of minutes, and then walk back. Well, Josh, you heard it at the end of the president's speech. He said, "This is the task of our time," basically speaking in broader terms about preserving democracy. He did. It was pretty stunning just looking at a list of some of the phrases he used. Idiotic, complete nonsense, crazy stuff, completely bogus and silly. That's what Donald Trump's own attorney general is calling the claims that he's been pursuing about widespread voter fraud.
On January 6th, did you speak with him before, during, or after the Capitol was attacked?
I'd have to go. I spoke with him that day after. I think after. I don't know if I spoke with him in the morning or not. I just don't know.
So I wanted to find out, again, just to confirm that he did speak with him on the 6th, and then say, was it before, during, or after the Capitol was attacked? Vance's campaign just a month and a half ago was really struggling. Polling wasn't great. Fundraising wasn't great. He wasn't out on the trail that much, knocking doors. He would just hold his town hall events. And this changes everything now. And within the last 3 minutes, Tim Ryan, the Democratic nominee, just put out his first attack ad against J.D. Vance. It happens to start with a clip from an interview I did with Vance earlier this year.
Yes or no, though, simply, do you feel the election was stolen?
Yeah, I do.
And do you think the 2020 election was stolen? I read an April 2021 comment.
I'm not gonna talk about
That's 5 minutes anyways.
No, it's okay. I'm not gonna talk about the election being stolen.
Well, I just had a question about a comment you made to the Toledo Blade. The central train station here in Warsaw has become a landing zone for so many Ukrainian families. Good morning, Sophia and Chuck. That's right. We are here in Brussels, and President Biden arrived late last night.
Senator Portman, it's Taylor with Spectrum. Can you come take a question or two?
Do you think the president was not being truthful with you on that call about the reason he withheld the aid?
Hello from Wilmington, Delaware, the Joe Biden campaign headquarters, where supporters are gathering after the Associated Press projected that Joseph Biden will be the 46th president of the United States.
For people who it will be really hard to just say, yeah, you've been mayor of a sizable city, but nothing major. Why should we take you seriously? What do you say to them?
Well, one of the main things I talk about is experience.
When will the moderate versus progressive debate in your party get in the way of beating Trump next year? Obviously, hindsight's 2020. Do you regret supporting Householder for Speaker?
I certainly regret his actions.
It was the first trade deal you backed, and you talk in these speeches about NAFTA and being against that. Do you feel USMCA is working?
Yeah, I think so.
Chairman, during the last debate held in the Midwest, a lot of Midwest issues were not brought up. Obviously, you can't coach what the candidates are going to say tonight, but how confident are you that they'll address more Midwest-focused issues being here in Ohio?
They are fully aligned with President Joe Biden, while the 12 Ohio Republicans in the House are likely all going to vote against it. I sat in the hearing room for about an hour and a half. It's just down the end of this hallway where you see people lined up.
The enthusiasm here in New Hampshire has been pretty evident. So while he's out here in Las Vegas continuing his Dignity of Work tour, I have his headshot, and I'm going to go around town to see if people know who he is.
Has there been any point where you've sat there and said, I wish I did run for president?
No.
We said, why don't we go to all the Midwest states that played a big role in 2016 and kind of take people's temperature?
And no matter where we go, it's not even like we're asking people to comment on this. The word authenticity keeps coming up.